Hello, everybody, and welcome to part 3 of episode 61 of Top Rope Rowdy on the YouTube.
And guess what part 3 is every week?
It's everybody's favorite.
Everybody's favorite. That was really close. I was like, whoa! I just turned my head and everyone was. Woo!
Yeah, that would have been a shock for the internet fans. Did they just kiss?
Not for Darren Young.
Did they just kiss? I think they just kissed.
Darren Young would have enjoyed that.
Yes.
I'm sorry, people. Hate mail at MikeHogan
No!
at gmail.com.
This is to Justin Conrad.
Nobody is going to read this because it doesn't work.
Okay, when you throw that, okay, we're gonna throw it up. We're at 1 and a 2 and a countdown. Gonna shake it? No, let me shake it.
I shook it.
Well, let's start with the 12 worst ever WCW champions.
Not just world champions.
And trust me, number 1 is who you think it is. It is not. Cheat.
I had to cheat. I was like, what? Number 1's not who it was. Okay.
It's the one that we're talking about. Number 12, Hulk Hogan. You're thinking, Hulk Hogan? Hulk Hogan? How can Hulk Hogan be one of the worst?
One of the worst.
Because he wanted the championship so bad.
No!
You're not me on my chair.
The finger poke of doom.
Yeah, what a crappy way to win the title.
That's right.
All these are pretty much, and they're not all world champions either.
They're not all world champions. Ladies and gentlemen, number 11, Stevie Ray.
Booker T's brother.
Booker T's brother, who apparently just signed a Legends deal with the WWE. I read that.
That helps.
That does help him. It was the only time Stevie had a singles title. His reign lasted 27 days.
It was a TV title.
It was the TV. Yeah, I was going to get that at the end. And it produced 0 good matches, and it was the television championship.
Yeah. How sad is
Speaking
that?
of TV titles.
Number 10, The Renegade, also held the television championship. During this time, he didn't get over, as fans saw right through the imposter who WCW wanted to be.
Oh, yeah. He was the Renegade. Jimmy Hart has programmed me to destroy on sight. DOS. He said DOS. Destroy on sight. And then he destroyed himself. I am so sorry. We're moving on now. That too soon. Too soon.
Yes.
Only like 20 years
ago. As soon as they put Saturday Night's put on WCW Saturday Nights on the network,
you'll know who
you can see Renegade and that stupid cat they had out there for some reason.
the what you call it?
I have no clue.
Mascot?
Yeah, the mascot, yes.
Someone needed to beat him up.
They did.
Yes.
Spear the cat.
So please disregard my last comments. Number 9.
Also, that's you. I did Renegade. You number 9. You do your hat on. Yes.
Also, television championship.
Also, how
They
bad
really
is,
had a
they
bad
had a bad
time.
run with
Yes.
the TV title there.
They did. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Ho! Don't look.
Not talking about her.
Don't look.
Working as a who are we talking about? That's weird. Working as a janitor in the storyline, discovered it in a dumpster.
Yes.
Wow, I should have read that ahead of time.
You should have.
Well, he decided to keep the belt and declare himself champion because, well, that's what a real champion does. He was a legit U.S. champion when he first came over from WWE. Because he probably said, I'll only sign a contract if somebody finally gives me a belt.
Yes.
And I do remember him being a janitor. And that's sad they had that shows what they thought about the belt. It was in the trash.
And that's where it ended up out of his reign. Because Eric Bischoff then threw it back in the trash.
Horrible. I liked that title back in the day. Back in the day, it was good. I think
Good
Austin
title.
and Regal and a bunch of them.
But you take the title out of the garbage, and then you proclaim yourself the TV champion and have terrible matches. Does not make you a decent or anything of a champion.
It does not.
Number 8, Crowbar and Daphne, Cruiserweight Champions. A man and woman being the co-holders of titles. That sounds kind of familiar, because they did that shortly after Jericho and Chyna were Intercontinental Champions. WCW say that worked. Let's pick 2 people. We pick Crowbar.
Probably
and
because
Daphne.
Russo was over there when the whole co-champion thing happened. Then he went to WCW and said,
And then Crowbar did the job and let Daphne be the only Cruiserweight champion.
So you have a male, female, and then you give it to a woman.
Yes.
Wow. And I see we're getting down there to the other guy.
Yeah.
The other two that are right around the same time.
Yeah.
Number 7, creative control. No, not the people who are backstage.
No.
Tag team titles. Their gimmick was an awful insider act that maybe 2% of the audience understood. Nowadays, people would understand it.
Oh, yeah.
Vince Russo had creative control when he jumped to WCW, so he named a team after that fact.
And who was the team?
The Harris Boys, the Blue Twins. Eli and Jacob Blue. Without an E. Without an E.
Like
And
Blu-ray,
now,
like Blu-ray.
and now they're in charge of the production staff of TNA. Wow, they've gone far.
Will Creative Control make a comeback in TNA and take the tag team titles off of either whoever wins the 5 series?
Or whoever doesn't get injured this time, my gosh.
Number 6, David Flair, United States Championship.
Too much too soon.
David became the champion because Rick said so, and he was the commissioner at the time. David just couldn't go in the ring or on the mic. For everything that made Rick magic, David was the opposite. The reign only lasted a little over a month.
He thought there was magic in David, and we're not going to discuss the other child. But the magic was in the daughter the whole time.
Horse face?
Stop it! She is not a horse face. Be nice. She's being mean too.
Horseface. I thought she won the Belmont Stakes this past weekend, but that's another story for another day.
Look at that face. That's horrible. She is a great athlete, though. She is a good wrestler.
I never didn't say she's not a great
Never
athlete.
didn't say.
No, I did not.
I think that is a contradiction.
I don't care, but I
never didn't say.
Never didn't say.
That is rude.
Thank you. You just call me Ravishing for short.
So stupid. Ladies and
Number
gentlemen.
5! Come on!
Number 5. With the barbecue sauce, because that was involved in that storyline.
No,
Horrible.
not number 5.
No,
Number
yes,
five,
it
number
was. She
five.
was involved in that
yeah,
whole
but she's number
storyline.
5, but you don't get the barbecue sauce yet.
We're getting there. Number 5 is Medusa, who won the Cruiserweight Championship, won the gold at Starrcade 99 against her boyfriend, Evan Courageous. Only like 40 years difference in age. In the finals of the Cruiserweight tournament, Medusa was a great wrestler, but her winning the belt had nothing to do with wrestling. It was done for the sake of Crash TV. Actually, one of the only people who had a worse title reign than her was the man that beat her. ... Waiting on you.
Number 4 is the man that beat her.
That's where the barbecue sauce comes in.
Oklahoma. That was terrible, 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 terrible. Won the belt in a match that concluded with a roll-up, and then barbecue sauce was poured down her tights.
His tights, yeah. Medusa lost the belt, but poured the barbecue sauce down the tights.
Unfortunately, the Cruiserweight division has a weight limit, and Oklahoma was a tad over it.
Only a tad. Only a tad.
Try to make fun of poor JR.
I'm not making fun of JR, making fun of
No, I said they were trying to make fun of.
They were.
Yes.
Ed Ferrar's an
And you
idiot.
can't, you see, and you think, oh, well, we're a big dog. We're the big dogs. We're better than Raw. We're everything. We can do whatever we want to. And then you talk about Mick Foley, can't put butts in seats, and you get people to change on. Then you start picking on poor JR, which everybody loves JR.
Exactly. Except for Josh Matthews.
Except Josh Matthews, yeah, he's just a whiny little bitch, so.
In your face, TNA.
So, and then, yeah, you get number 3. You always talk about number 3 all the time.
I get to see her son soon, or is it her husband? So confusing.
I hope it's son.
Well, the name is the same.
Because if his wife looks like that, he should be wrestling because he's blind. So, blind wrestlers cannot wrestle.
Oh, gosh. That's horrible, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3 is Judy Bagwell. With the tag team titles with Rick Steiner, Rick Steiner was allowed to pick his own partner, and he chose, of all people, Judy Bagwell. As in Judy Bagwell. Well, because it says Judy.
Yes.
He chose Judy. As in Judy Bagwell. Okay, I get that. As in Buck Bagwell's mammy. Thankfully, she never did. That's kind of a, I don't think that should go together. Never did defend. She never defended. That's the way I should say. The title in a match. I know, copy and paste. Never defended the title in a match, but the fact that she held the belt around her waist, well, it was up there. She got it around the waist. I saw the pictures. Makes her one of the worst champions in not just WCW, but in the history of the planet of sports, entertainment, and wrestling everywhere.
Yeah, that was so bad.
That was Horrible. That was worse than Rick Steiner having a feud with Chucky. That's the name.
The doll.
The doll.
Yes.
Not a wrestler named Chucky.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And RoboCop.
And RoboCop and Sting, yes. He pulled those bars apart. He's so strong. He's a strong guy.
Now number two. Number Kiss, yes.
Oh, God.
Number two.
Who you thought was number one?
Who you thought was... When you talk about WCW and handing the world title to people...
You gotta say WCW.
Yeah, WCW.
WCW. Wrestling, where them big boys play.
Yeah, where the big boys play.
What was they playing with? Nasty.
But when you talk about the world title and you talk about WCW, whose name comes up first as the worst champion of all time? Ever. Said that killed the belt. Killed this belt right here.
This gold, the big gold belt.
David Arquette.
Yes, the guy from Scream 1, 2, 3, 4. And the guy from Ready to the Nail.
When Arquette was around WCW promoting Ready to Rumble, someone had the idea to make him the champion.
I wonder who that someone
to create some publicity. Bad publicity? Yes.
Very bad.
Yes. According to Russo, Tony Schiavone came up with the idea.
That's why he should only be a commentator.
Since Russo approved it. I think he's just throwing it on poor Tony.
Tony should only be commentator.
Tony's our that.
Don't let him come up with ideas.
When I was getting pooped on, and oh, that's Tony. Yeah, Tony's on.
Tony. That was Tony's idea.
Remember he said, he also said, Mick Foley don't put butts in seats.
But it wasn't him that made that up.
Yeah. In a match on Thunder. Thunder. Can't he be on Nitro or a pay-per-view? Thunder?
They ran away from Thursdays because of SmackDown, and they went to Wednesdays.
Arquette pinned Bischoff to win the belt. Jeff Jarrett was the champ, so Jeff Jarrett didn't have to take the pin, and Bischoff doesn't make a difference one way or another.
Because the rules stipulated.
Any pinfall counted.
Any pinfall. So you could have pinned the referee.
That's right. When you start throwing out stipulations, and they probably mentioned it from the beginning,
then you know something's going to happen.
Any pinfall counted.
And I always get the good stuff. Number one. Numero uno.
Of the worst.
Ever WCW champions.
That's WCW.
It's WCW where them people play. Okay. Yeah, them peoples.
Yes.
The number one worst champion was a world heavyweight champion.
The world. The last two spots were the world. It has to be.
It has to be this belt right here, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Vince Russo himself, the creative genius behind nothing. That guy. He made himself world champion to appeal to the internet schmarks who already thought he was an egomaniac. Well, Russo only held the title for 1 week. Oh, they threw a little Tommy Rich up in there, I guess. But it was one of the worst weeks in the history of WCW. He won it because Goldberg speared him through a steel cage, which meant he escaped first.
Well, that sounds familiar.
He did touch the ground first, and I think they did that with Austin versus Vince.
Man, yes.
With the Big Show inadvertently helping Austin win.
Yes, by throwing him against the cage and the door, the wall swung open.
Yeah. And he got a concussion from it. Vince Russo did, and then he gave up the belt. And it's like, if you're gonna win a title, at least put it on someone who could defend it. Don't just put someone on a title just to say, who won the belt, and now we're gonna give it to somebody else.
Yeah, I hated those.
Those are stupid. That's what half of this crap is.
That is. So up next,
now that
we're going to be a little more worst, but we're going to get some best.
We're going to get better.
Yes.
It's going to go from worst to better to best.
Yes. Worst to better to best.
Worst to better to best.
So yeah. So WWE is we're going to talk about 1999 pay-per-views.
The year was 1999. Where were you at?
Where were you at?
I was at Ski.
I was probably watching these. So.
Yes, you were not at Ski. I was at Ski.
On a Sunday?
Not on a Sunday.
That's for school?
Yes. Yes.
Because
I learned so much.
Trying to cure yourself from watching WCW.
That's what I was doing in 99, watching WCW.
Well, let's start off
know no better.
Let's start off with number 14. There was 14 pay-per-views in 1999.
Why?
And everybody's favorite. Everybody loves this pay-per-view, but it was a stinker in 1999. King of the Ring. The Good, the Emerging Hardys, and the Brood, Edge and Christian. Had a really good 5-minute match on the undercard.
5 minutes.
But that was the Good, folks. 5 minutes.
A 5-minute match was the good part of it.
That's sad.
Yes, it was.
You get the bad.
The bad. The quarter and semifinal matches were pure fillers, each lasting only a few minutes, and the final was a total washout too. Billy Gunn beat a former stablemate X-Pac in an epic.
Still would have been fine too.
That's true. In an epic 5 minutes to clinch the crown. When you think of Billy Gunn and his nickname, you don't want to hear the word clinch.
No.
You do not want to hear
Because
the
he
word
clinched it. And I kind of forgot he was king of the ring.
He was king of the ring, and he beat X-Pac apparently.
Where'd he go with that?
Nowhere fast.
Okay.
Number 13, No Mercy, a UK-only pay-per-view. The Good was Shane McMahon and X-Pac had the best match of the night. Austin Era main event, Stone Cold versus Triple H versus The Undertaker, was good, overbooked fun.
The Bad. Too many throwaway matches, as usual.
Yes, because they just threw stuff in there for the UK.
Oh, yes. Next, number 12, was Over the Edge.
Over the Edge.
The Good. WWE Tag Team Championship match pitting Kane and X-Pac against D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry.
D'Lo Brown. I don't understand the whole head ball.
No.
That hurt just doing that. He did that all the time. That's ridiculous. The Bad. Why you give this to me? That's sad.
That's why it falls.
That is too soon. Don't say that. Don't say it that way. That's the way it landed. Never mind. Never mind. Too soon. Don't say it that way either.
Yeah, it is too soon.
The Bad. Owen Hart tragically fell to his death.
Yes.
And we're moving on.
Let's go to 11.
Survivor Series number 11. Just wipe that out of your memory, people. The Good. Chyna and Chris Jericho had a really good Intercontinental Championship match. A male versus female match.
Yes, was the Good.
Was the Good.
The Bad. WWE should have been ashamed of themselves for advertising Stone Cold Steve Austin for the main event up until the final minutes when the company knew full well, days in advance, that Austin would not be performing on the show.
I don't know anything about this.
Just want to get hit by the car, Rikishi. I did it for The Rock.
Oh yeah, he had a broken neck.
Oh, that's something.
He was out for a long time. He hurt
He was,
himself.
yes.
Number 10, the Royal Rumble.
Which is other people's favorite.
That's true. That's sad. Number 9. So, the Good, The Rock, and Mankind in their WWF Championship I Quit matchup.
The Bad. I think I'm supposed to take that one.
No, you already did.
I just did the bad part. That's alright. I'll do 99.
Same thing.
The Bad. The Rumble was dominated by Austin-Vince feud.
Yes.
Vince winning was supposed to be a shocking moment, but it was rendered pointless when Austin's main evented Mania anyway.
Oh, cool.
Number 9, WrestleMania 15. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, WrestleMania 15.
It's number 9.
It's number 9.
It's
Only
bad.
the worst to the better, to the best.
It's bad.
The Good. The Rock was once again involved, finally clashing with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Shane McMahon versus X-Pac European title match was the second best match on the show.
Shane was a great wrestler. The Bad. Most of the matches were poor and the angles ludicrous. Worst of all was the Hell in a Cell debacle between the Boss Man and the Undertaker, which ended with Undertaker and the Brood hanging the Boss Man from the cell, and they never show that ever again since he passed away. They will not show that. Number 8, Armageddon, The Good, no-holds-barred main event between Triple H and Vince McMahon, which saw Stephanie turn heel and join the dastardly Helmsley.
The Bad, The Big Show versus the Big Boss Man, which came off the back of one of the most ludicrous angles of the year, lasting only 3 minutes and 13 seconds, but that was still about 2.5 minutes too long.
Yeah, that mess was pretty stupid with the whole
Daddy.
rolling on the back of his daddy's, what do you call it, casket. That was horrible.
Number 7, St. Valentine's Day's Massacre, The Good, Crazy Cage match, main event, Austin and Vince McMahon, which saw Vince take an incredible bump off the side of the cage and through the announce table. Yeah, broken tailbone.
Yeah, that's when he did
This
the
match
tailbone,
also
so,
featured the WWF debut of the Big Show, who attacked Austin.
Oh, that's the one where he threw him out. There you go. The Bad, you can skip matches like Blue Dust, the Blue Meanie versus Gold Dust, and the Big Boss Man versus Midian without feeling too bad about it. Number 6, Rebellion. The good WWF Championship cage match between The Rock and Triple H made sure everyone got their money's worth from this event.
The bad. Lots of short matches, all lasting about a few minutes each. The action in them wasn't great either. Number 5, Unforgiven. The good. The six-pack challenge main event was all sort of fun and the best match of the card as it should have been.
The bad. 3 words. Kennel from hell.
Yes.
Pepper. Number 4, Fully Loaded. The good. The match of the night honors probably went to either The Rock and Triple H for their overbooked but fun strap match, or the Hardys versus the APA, the Aqualize.
The bad. D'Lo Brown was getting very over, but he couldn't drag anything decent out of the awful median. The Iron Circle parking lot match between Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock really should have been better.
Stupid.
Number 3, Backlash. The good. Boiler room brawl between Mankind and Big Show. The show, however, was stolen once again by Austin and The Rock. Their arena-wide McMahon-Phil brawl was different, much to their main event one, but it was every bit as good. Yeah.
The bad. The Undertaker and Ken Shamrock had a very weird match. Although it sounds good on paper, their styles just didn't mix at all. Number 2 is No Mercy, the U.S. version, not the U.K. version. The good. The event featured the best WWF match of the year. The Hardys and Edge and Christian tore it up and literally set new heights for tag team wrestling in their blistering tag team ladder match.
The bad. The Rock's 6-minute victory over a totally broken down and past its British Bulldog was a waste of the Great One's time. And number 1 was SummerSlam.
The best event of 1999.
What are you talking about, Charlie?
Weird.
The good. Shane McMahon in his Love Her or Leave Her street fight with Test. D'Lo Brown versus Jeff Jarrett opener was good. Also good were the tag team turmoil matches, particularly the Hardys versus Edge and Christian section. And The Undertaker looked motivated in his and Big Show's tag team defense against Kane and X-Pac.
The bad. The Lion's Den weapons match between Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock. Yawn. Just like what was their other Iron Circle. That's weird. The Kiss My Booty storyline for The Rock and Billy Gunn's not so epic showdown.
And that is it for countdowns this
2
week.
countdowns this week. Very
They were
long.
big
Still
countdowns,
good.
so that's why it was. But up next is part 4, where we'll continue the top 10 heel stables of the WWE.
This is going to be a good one.
We'll talk about the 100 pay-per-views you must see before you croak with key matches.
And of course, 40 wrestlers ranked from worst to best, 25 to 23. Wait. Why does it say 25 to 23? It says 28. Look at that. It does. Get the numbers wrong. And then, of course, we're going to continue talking about the Teddy Long T tournament.
Round 2.
TLTTT.
So come on back in a few clicks to part 4 right here at Top Row Wrestling YouTube. I'm Mike Hogan.
And I'm Justin Cad.
And we'll see all of you in a few clicks. Step on my lines that time.
You step on what?
Step on my own lines that
Step on
time.
your own line. Why you be stepping on your own lines? That's so rude to yourself.
It is so
Why are you so rude to
rude.
yourself? That's crazy.